Prepare yourselves. Good, Michael. Let's welcome back to our Thaumaturge playthrough, where we just had our father's funeral. We met a couple of interesting characters, namely Ivan, which looks like it might be bad news in the future. Right, I know we need to go to the house, but let's quickly look around. Maybe there's something I can check. That's locked. Okay. I mean, everything on the map shows that it's locked. And I'm assuming most of the stuff is locked for now until we progress a bit. Maybe main story. Or could be part of side quests. Which again is going to be related to the progression of the main story. Let's see what we can find, if there's anything to find. Around here. Oh, these are store items. Right. It looks like there's the Daily Courier. Classy feet. I make clothes, costumes, and gowns in keeping with the latest designs that I stocked up on in Paris. Poleska, 150 Marszałkowska Street. The Warsaw Music Society invites you to a concert at the Reduta Halls featuring Siborowska Glasowna Mixed Choir. Sludged course for young people. 3 Pliluski to Zoravia Street. News. The Supreme Decree on the language of instruction in the kingdom's private schools was announced. Manifestation in Moravia's Brno. A well-known thaumaturgist is dead. The body of Raymond Kinley was found near Tower Bridge. A mutiny broke out on the Austrian cruiser Panther. A meeting of Danish ministers on the candidacy of Prince Charles for the Norwegian throne was held in Copenhagen. Oh, at least there was one newspaper, and again I have like 2 points. And let's go through this way. Not seeing anything visually or anything appearing over there. Yeah, definitely this is, I'm clicking by mistake in this one. The objective, and then it activates the perception, because I just had my mouse cursor over here. Right here, guys, all good. Does seem that the rain is bothering them. Okay, interesting. This doesn't have an entrance, either on the map or anything. Okay, how we looking? Yeah, I think it's best if I double back a bit and finish with this side of the street, and then we go around, make a U-turn. This is locked as well. Nothing on the notice board. Catch a tram. I don't know why I thought it would be a carriage here, not a tram. This might be potentially an inn of some sorts. Or maybe not. Oh, hold up, can I? Don't think I can, yeah, I cannot go through there. This location could be potentially later on a point of interest. Side quests. We do have an advertisement poster. The Path new phonograph reproduces singing, music, and declamation more clearly, and subtly than the most expensive gramophones. It does not hum, and the needle will last for many years without having to be replaced. For 32 rubles. Extremely popular among music lovers. If stock runs out, we'll accept reservation for the next shipment. Songs from operas and operettas, church songs, declamations, waltzes, polkas, and marches. Main storage of Path, new phonographs, Adam Klimkieski, Warsaw, 14 Lesno. Oh, there's something here on the bench. Brochure. Dr. Campbell's Safe Arsenic Soap. Removes freckles and red spots, giving a soft matte whiteness to the complexion. It can even handle a strong tan. The secret of radiant skin. You will find it in all major drugstores and perfumeries. The main store is in Warsaw in F. Zamenhof Pharmacy. 8 Iron Gate Square. Pay attention to the brand and signature. We're almost doubling back. Just gonna check quickly through here. Don't think so. Right. So we make our way towards the family home. Which is conveniently over here. And nothing else outside. Cool.
Young Mr. Shulsky, after all these years, goodness gracious, you're drenched!
Good evening, Grażynka.
Evening. My, you're soaked. Come to the kitchen now. You can warm up by the stove. And that drunken judge, maybe you can drag him out too.
Where's my sister?
In the study, already waiting with the lawyer. She said you were running late. Should I make you some cocoa, master? It would warm you up a little.
Make it for our sister. If maybe she needs it more.
Make an extra creamy one for Ligia.
Oh, I won't skimp on her. Now, your sister's putting a brave face on all this, but she's really having a hard time. It's lovely to see you again. But that's enough jabber for now. I've got the guests and the cocoa, and I've got to whip up some food for you all later. We'll talk soon.
Okay, entries. What about our house? Home. There was a time when I wouldn't question that word. Home was here, where my mother, father, and sister were. But now, I don't feel at home here. Everything looks the same. I know these paintings. I recognize the faces in the portraits, the wallpaper patterns. And yet, everything is different. Draped in absence, void memories of the past. I'll never see my mother fixing her hair at the dressing table. No one is browsing old books in father's study. And in the hallways, there are only the spirits of the carefree children who now try to find themselves in a new reality. And then Grasnia, I'm assuming grandma, the good soul of the Sursky household. When we were kids, she would patch our threadbare clothes and bandage our bruised elbows. She was closer to us than our own mother. It's nice to see her in good health. Well, actually, not grandma, I'm assuming, like, helper in the family. That, yeah. In so many years in the family, she is family. Victor Shursky's home. Go to the father's study. Let's read about stuff here. The Warsaw Courier. Evening Extra. Here is the latest news of the riots that disrupted His Majesty Emperor Nikolai II's speech today. A moment after our gracious emperor announced Georgy Skalon as the new governor general of Warsaw, a group of troublemakers started yelling most disgraceful slogans. Despite reinforced security, there was a scuffle. The gendarmerie were quick to get the situation under control, however. A few people were injured, including 2 policemen who came to help. 30 people charged with public nuisance and brawling were taken into custody. Oh, with one of them being us.
I don't want to put my foot in my mouth again. I already failed to recognize someone once today, but you look familiar.
Well, I should think so. I was the victim of one of your starling hunts. Voronins must not be very memorable, cousin.
Pietya, forgive me, and for shooting you as well. How are you doing?
Just some heart problems, not a subject for today. I'm sorry about Uncle Stanislav. Forgive me for not coming to the funeral. I can't bear cemeteries.
We'll have to meet up again.
Goodbye.
No chases in the conversation, but we do have an entry about him. Probably gonna be a short one. My cousin Petya has changed a lot. Perhaps we all have. He's no longer the skinny kid with scraped knees. We have never been close, despite being of a similar age. Maybe because of our differing personalities. So that's upstairs. Cool. Bust of Morana. The stern countenance resembles that of a human, but the callous gaze shows no trace of human emotions. The Queen of Winter scrutinizes you, sending a shiver down your spine. It makes me think of the words, if you gaze long enough into an abyss, the abyss will gaze back into you. Does have a own entry? Where exactly are you putting these entries? Because it's not... items over here. Cool. No, didn't want basement. Hold up. So this is just a door to open. Grasnia liqueur recipe. Queen's liqueur with amber. Pour a pot of ripe, duly picked queen's fruit into a 4-gallon demijohn and pour in a light, cold syrup with 6 pounds of sugar and 2 gallons of water. Add 10 pieces of amber, stir perfectly, and add half a gallon of your best spirit. Seal and place in a moderately warm place out of the sun for 10 days. Stirring several times per day, shaking the demijohn. After 10 to 12 days, when the clumps have sunk and the liquid is completely clear, pour into bottles, cork tightly, and keep it in a cool, dry cellar.
Oh, I'm glad you're here. I thought I'd have to drink alone.
So many goodies laid out for the guests. Having trouble picking something for yourself, Judge?
But this was Stasios. It was special. Amber liqueur with quinces.
I think you mean quince liqueur with amber, right? If it's not here, I'm sure it's in the basement. But I won't grope around down there in the dark now. I've got my hands full.
Now, I don't want to trouble you either. Victor, could you track down a little bottle for your uncle?
I suppose I'm obligated to accept this mission.
Good lad. A nephew like you is a treasure.
Well, I guess we have reason to go to the basement. What's this? 365 dinner recipes for 5 zlotys by Lucina C. Caponopole with sausages. Clean and pluck the capon while warm. Burn off the remaining feathers and knots over the fire. Slice off the giblets to add them to the giblets to add them to the broth. Rinse, salt throughout, and roast on a spit while coating with butter. When finishing roasting, put a large spoonful of sausage butter inside. Sprinkle the top with breadcrumbs, douse in liquid butter, and fry in the pan. If you don't have sausages, a piece of butter with pepper will do. We can also put the sausages butter in the capon once it is on the platter. Assuming
How did it go? Mission accomplished?
not
You'll
yet.
have to wait a moment yet, Uncle.
Okay, just to double check in case there was something else. What else outside here? That was the bust, and then just to go up. You have garden. Let's check their garden really quick. And there are some people here, but not much else. Yet, maybe later on. All right, Uncle, I'm gonna go get your bottle. So I think just the basement and then upstairs. Looks like there's bottles there, bottle there, but Mother's portrait. A portrait of Mother from her youth. She stands proud, wearing a white dress and a steel scarf thrown over her exposed shoulders. Her long dark hair flows down her back, and she glances at the viewer with a piercing smile. Bare skin and a frivolous hairstyle. That's not how I remembered her. Nadia, as a young, unkept maiden. It's hard to believe. This shocking vision of the painter must have been created in a previous era, a time when hearts were stirred with violent emotions. Poems were created to the sound of a storm, love story had to end tragically, etc., etc. Father actually commissioned such a painting? Or maybe secret admirer? Queen's liqueur with amber. A small bottle of Queen's liqueur with amber, a beverage for true connoisseurs. Trace certain Volonin. The bottle exudes the sweet aroma of Queen's and the sincere joy of our upcoming meeting. It is a beverage that brings people together and sweetens the bitterness of everyday life. An element of a ritual that two old friends would eagerly indulge in. And what about this one? Sauvignon de Bordeaux, a bottle of wine, white wine from southern France, an expressive beverage popular among the aristocracy. The wine carries the aroma of peaches, apples, and a certain amount of conviction that the relationship between two people is beginning to take on a romantic edge. A beverage enjoyed by the upper crust, given to a man by a woman. Trace familiar, mysterious woman. Could it potentially be the same from the note? And what about this one? Pinot Noir from Oregon. Trace certain Ligia. A bottle of red wine from the United States. Hard to get. An inability to articulate brought on by a great surprise clings to the bottle. It was difficult to mouth even a word of gratitude for the unique gift. Words got stuck in the throat despite the adoration for this particular liquor. It is a favorite beverage, but an unwelcome gift. Volonin's bottle. Every bottle found in Sursky's cellar contains a credible beverage. Uncle Volonin will disregard any of them. Anything else around here? Not seeing any other prompts. Right, got your bottle of
How
wine.
did it go? Mission accomplished?
Oh, we can give him everything else, but he asked for the bottle of liqueur.
I think this is the one Uncle wanted.
Yes. This is our little funeral battle. We would meet in Stasha's study after every funeral we went to, and raised a toast to the dead. And recently, we've been seeing one another more and more at such events. More and more. But this time, even he has left me. So, to an easy death, as Stasha and I used to say.
How did he die?
Hasn't Lygia told you?
I haven't even had the chance to ask.
He didn't suffer, but such images in the memory are better saved for later. I'd prefer to remember him as he was alive. What then? Am I drinking alone?
Drink to an easy death, propose on your own toast. Now let's just raise the toast in silence.
Familiar faces keep vanishing from my life. Stasio and my Helena before him. I miss my little darling. I miss them both. Well, obligation fulfilled. Shall we get to the reading of the will?
Let's ask about Chayat.
At the funeral, there was this sad Jewish fellow, Mordechai Hayat. Do you know him, uncle?
He worked for Stanisław, but that was a long time ago. I don't know him more than that. So, shall we collect our inheritance?
Give me another moment.
You'll all have to wait for me a moment yet.
All right, but hurry up.
Oh. Okay, have some liquor. Liquor is not alcohol. It is more of a tincture, in fact. Yes, a medicine. And since life is the most common fatal disease, well, to our health then. Oh, hello. What was this? Looks like everything's completed here. Still have the other bottles. Oh, it's a sketch. Okay. Not our first sketch then. Can I still talk with him? No. Okay, so I guess it was an option to go directly or me going manually upstairs. So that's the garden. Did everybody... No, people are still here. Just trying to see if there's something here. Nope. That's the exit or the entrance. Oh, hello. Almost missed the father's portrait. The portrait depicts father in his twilight years. The serious expression on his face, the proud posture, and the grimoire in his hand. Combined with the dark background and lack of embellishments, it all reflects the strictness and pragmatisms he always had. Good old Stanislav. However, a faint red streak can be seen around his figure. Apparently, artists are particularly sensitive to seeing things that usually escape the human eye. These ones should receive double emolument for capturing the thaumaturgic aura. Okay, interesting. Then I wonder if you're gonna meet more artists along the way and probably gonna see different things. Bust of Sirin. Sharp avian features bear a wild, disturbing kind of a beauty. They make you want to fall into her clutches and be lulled into an eternal dream by her sweet song. Yet, her cryptic slight smile makes a subconscious primal part of your being cower away from the predator. But isn't a soul the only fair price for the bliss of giving yourself up to that enchanting creature? Get changed, okay. It's our room then? Serious photo. Straight backs, stern expressions, noses in the air. Two boys that are just trying to meet everyone's expectations. Something went wrong here. Is that us with the cousin or... so I guess here we change. The magic of wealth. I mean, this a bit too red on the codes, but the other one's not bad, actually. But then again, I am gonna leave it as is the default unless the game changes my clothes automatically. Again, as per first playthrough, I'm assuming this is gonna be Lygia's room. Message from mother. Dear child, stop it. It is with great... Or, dear child, stop. It is with great sorrow that I have received the news of Stanislav's death. Stop. Unfortunately, I will not be able to attend the funeral ceremony. Stop. My duties in Paris kept me from traveling to Warsaw at this time. Stop. I join you both in mourning and sorrow. Stop, Mama. Duties in Paris. That's rich. My letter from Rome, July 1896. Dear sister, I'm writing to you because sleep eludes me. As I wrote before, I have found a suitable candidate. However, I'm still struggling to reach his flaw. I feel that Paimon is within my reach. I even saw him. Vaguely, but I did. I'll stop here because my nerves prevent me from continuing. Victor. P.S. Yes, I will be careful. Don't think me a fool like father. The Polish Gazette, Evening Edition. Obituaries. The cemetery in Montmorency on Sunday, the body of the distinguished writer and citizen, the late Severina Duchinska, was laid to rest. A handful of compatriots escorted the coffin amidst the pouring rain. The funeral service was very modest. In accordance with the wishes of the deceased, the sums allocated for wreaths were deposited in the coffers of the Claudia Ototka Charitable Society. The late Antony Pizylensky retired age 91. The late Barbara Tsiekala, age 45. The late Stanislav Slutsky, entrepreneur, aged 63. Warsaw Funeral Company, M. Tiska. The company arranges funerals, exhumations, and the transportations of corpses. A factory warehouse of metal and wooden coffins, mourning hats, crepe paper, and a vast selection of items used in the time of mourning. Then, my letter from Paris, November 1896. Sister of mine, I feel well enough to write something to you. The doctor also recommended I do so. I'm not alone in my anguish. I share a room with one Rifford Morton, whose last name escapes me. They brought him from London, from Dr. Seward's clinic. A very interesting case. He spends his days hunting for the moths, cockroaches, ladybugs, and beetles that come here sometimes. He eats them. He says it gives him strength to wait for the coming of the Lord. But I don't think he means the Savior. I cannot yet reconstruct all the details after the debacle with Paimon. My mind is still in tatters. Paimon visited me no more than a week ago. I know that's impossible. It probably happened only in my mind, but it was so clear. He, as the king of hell, with his host of demons, with the shadows of his penitents, called for me to join them. It was so real. I'll stop here. I'm having a hard time gathering my thoughts. Victor. There's another point, and we need to go over there. Which means, I'm gonna check the bathroom. Pseudo-monarchia demonum, compared to Crowley's Ars Goetia. There are 3 fewer demons. No evidence that all demons are salutars. Bathim, a false lead. Tussel, a false lead. Anton claims to have subjugated Orobas, mere boasting. Marcosias, expected to take on the form of a wolf with the wings of a griffin and the tail of a snake. According to the Diplancy, he takes the form of a wild lioness. Interesting observation by Crowley. Demons are unexplored fragments of our minds. However, in appearance, it resembles an ox with the wings. A lead for Subnock, unknown. I wonder if these are potential salutors we're gonna deal with later on. Victories here. No automatic cutscene yet. So let's see how much we can see. Look around because there is a portrait here. Yes. Sursky family portrait. Our family portrait. I can remember when it was taken. The year was 1884, and Ligia and I were 9 years old at the time. She was clearly tense, and I remember how mother admonished her not to smile, not to fidget, and not to stand straight. Ligia was to take the cue from her. Mother was able to freeze like a statue and sit there, barely breathing, for a couple of hours. I, on the other hand, posing nonchalantly, was always more unrestrained than my sister. I could get away with more. Behind us, our father, the head of the family. One hand resting patronizingly on the back of the chaise lounge, asserting his ownership. The other holding a grimoire. The black grimoire. Behind father, a shadow, as if a shape was emerging and forming, indicating another presence. That's Balberith. The family is complete. Yeah, again, interesting with what we just read about the artists. Like seeing different things. Or extra. And there is actually... This is a salutor. Balberith, my father's first salutor. Probably not the only one, but for a perfect match. An ancient idol mentioned in the Book of Judges. Secretive by nature, keeper of vegetation and master of insects that he can command in order to protect people from diseases. According to Ars Goetia, Balberith belongs to the circle of greater demons, just like father. The flaws that attract him are, much like with the Upir, those related to the heart dimension and the sensation of the heart. Pride, blasphemy, contentiousness, but also consistency, stubbornness, and ambition. Balberith is gone. He left it with my father. Where? We do not know what happens to salutors after Thaumaturge's death. Perhaps they become wild again, unhindered by the pact with their master? But the flaw that used to tether them is gone, so maybe they vanish into the void too. Potentially... well, actually, by... I don't think it's gonna be a salutor we can get. Unless it's a different position in the contour over there. And I think that's pretty much it. Yep, let's talk with the guy.
I am ready, Mr. Shulsky. I only need all of you to be present. Can we start reading your father's will?
Yeah.
Yes, let his will be done. Again.
Let's begin if everyone is ready. Would you all please take a seat? Ladies and gentlemen, by the power of my office vested in me by the grace of His Imperial Majesty, the Emperor of all Russia, I hereby testify. Mr. Shulsky's last will and testament were prepared several years ago in the presence of Zaslav Fedorov, Esquire, that is, myself. My last will and testament recorded in the year of our Lord 1888. In the name of the Holy Trinity. Amen.
I'm kind of tempted to just get to the point, but you know what? Let's just hear him out in silence.
Therefore, my first irrevocable wish is to appoint as executrix of this will my daughter, Ligia Shulska. Immediately after my death, an inventory shall be conducted in full accordance with the law. After completing the inventory, all my personal movables will be sold at public auction. And let the funds raised thereby be donated on the anniversary of my death to the beggars near that cemetery. The administration of the remainder of my fortune I leave, without restriction, to the person of my daughter Ligia.
I'm not even getting a teaspoon.
All movables and immovables relating to the family enterprise I entrust to the care and administration of my daughter. I do not prescribe a method of administering them. I merely offer her one piece of advice. I wish that the business should be conducted with modesty, prudence, and honesty, as I have conducted it my whole life.
A joker to the very end.
To my brother-in-law and oldest friend, Alexander Voronin, I wish to leave the following: my collection of muskets and 2 revolvers, dating to the uprising in memory of our first mating.
Stasio, I will have plenty to do in my retirement.
Enjoy your retirement.
Is mother getting anything?
Now, Mr. Fedorov, what did my father leave my mother?
Victor, be serious.
Oh, I am.
Nothing. There is a special item reflecting the absolute lack of any bequest to my former spouse, Nadia Fyodorovna Voronina.
Let's just wait for the end of the ceremony.
I would also like to come to the aid of my only son, Viktor Shulsky, by entrusting him with the use of my personal black grimoire, in the hope that he will be able to make good use of it. This is my last will and testament. Carry it out solemnly, though you may have found it burdensome. However, this last bequest poses a certain problem.
Yes,
Which
it
is?
certainly does. And what is that, may I ask?
I am not in possession of this grimoire. The late Mr. Shulsky used it up until his death, yet no one left it with me after his passing.
Meaning it's disappeared? Did father have his grimoire on him at the time of his death?
It was only because of the grimoire that we could identify him at all.
What actually happened? How did he die?
A building collapsed on top of him. I don't know any other way of putting it.
Anything more?
A building? It collapsed on top of him? How? How did this happen?
It was a day like any other. Papa had gone for his habitual walk. Every Tuesday and Thursday, he'd take a stroll to get some space, as he put it. When he didn't come back for a long time, I got the bad feeling something had happened. But then,
We rode there together. An entire wall of a tenement had collapsed. There were 3 victims, including Stasio, who had the bad luck to simply be walking by. To see him there in that condition, it's beyond description.
Then what about the grimoire, if you managed to identify him by that?
The grimoire. Could someone have taken it?
Perhaps, in all that confusion.
but why would anyone want Papa's grimoire? An ordinary person won't use it. Would the Thaumaturge just happen to be passing by?
Father had all his knowledge in there, but I don't know if it would be useful to someone other than him. I don't even know why he left it to me.
I'm sure Stasio had a reason.
So where this... Well, I guess maybe we actually stumbled on near the location, because I did see a location that had like crumbled walls of a building.
Where did it happen? Where was this building?
The southern part of Śródmieście, not far from the police station. Anyway, you can miss it.
So that's where it is. I've seen this place. I'd rather not imagine what condition you found Father in there.
Of all the possibilities, this was the death that fate prepared for him.
No, I'm not gonna be rude. Even with our strained relationship, I don't think he even didn't deserve this.
I foresaw a slightly more pleasant end for him myself. I doubt even he deserved such a horrible death.
Those might be the kindest words you've ever said on the subject of a father.
How typical of his sort of person to keep a portrait in his study of a family that was only a family on canvas. Not long after the painting was done, he got divorced, ruined the Nijitsus, and kicked out his son. But there the portrait hangs, as if family meant anything at all.
I don't know what exactly happened with Aboritse, but I know that Papa felt guilty. You don't want to forgive him even now that he's gone?
The dead need no forgiving. And as for forgetting, I don't know how. It's just a shame about the grimoire.
What do you intend to do?
Maybe look through his things.
And where are father's things at the moment?
You're standing at the very center of his kingdom. Not everything has been sorted through yet, but you go right ahead.
And the store? I should check that too.
I've started stock taking there to distract myself, and I don't want you to go in there before I've finished.
As you wish.
Yep, the building could be a good lead also.
I think we have to look for the answer in the place where it happened.
With your sight, you can make out more in those ruins than I, or Uncle, or Detective could. This is a good lead, but is it the only one?
Not exactly. What about Ivan Konechkin?
I think we have to look for the answer in the...
Ah, no.
With this,
I forgot that it wanted to 4.
Father evidently knew a certain Ivan Konechkin. Have you heard anything about him?
Konechkin? No, doesn't ring a bell.
all sorts of people came to Papa's store. That doesn't mean every one of them might know something about the grimoire.
That's true. You've got your work cut out for you.
What about Mordecai then?
And Mordechai Chayat. Could that be a lead?
I don't think so. He worked with Father, but he left more than a year ago. I don't know why. He was an assistant at my store.
Do you know where I might find him?
Sadly, no.
Do you have any other ideas?
No, I think that's pretty much it.
Now at least I can see how little I know. Maybe these scraps of information will lead me somewhere.
Well, now that we know what's got to be figured out, forgive me, my darlings. I'm going to give my old bones a rest.
I'll see you out.
Goodbye, Uncle. And, Ligia. I'm sorry it happened this way. That I wasn't close by.
The most important thing is you're here now.
Okay, what we leave behind looks like Opier is here. Listen. Okay, that looks like it's another collectible. There's stuff here. Potentially stuff here. Yeah. Maybe up as well. So, on entries, the Black Grimoire. Daddy's beloved magic book. I didn't expect to inherit anything, least of all, his Black Grimoire. Too bad it went missing, honestly. Was I worthy, or was the joke? let the prodigal son go looking under the pavement while the book is at the Warsaw Charity Society. Maybe. Okay, conclusions. Homestead. I got everything on the city sun. Okay, only files stay the same. This time colder is now he has an excuse. At the Vienna station, I happen upon Georgi Skalon being appointed of the Governor General of Warsaw. The crow was not so happy, so Skalon had them all kettled. At the rally, I met Wanda, young, very straightforward, with ammo under her garter. Because of the row with the police, I ended up in custody. The funeral must wait. Wanda suggested another meeting. She told me to ask for her at the Berk Rotsblitz if I ever happen to pop in. Then I finally made it to the Pozaski cemetery. It's time for closure in my relationship with my father. Ligia, my dearest twin, was sincerely happy to see me return. She was the only one I missed during in my years of absence. There were more people to bid my father farewell than he deserved. Uncle Voronin was there. He's always been kind to me, and the mysterious Konechkin. He was said to be my father's friend, and a certain Mr. Chayat, father's former partner. My family home is a place where bad memories outweigh the good ones. Now I just need to go to the reading of my father's will purely a formality. Then I intend to leave. And looks like we're not gonna leave anytime soon. Then at what we leave behind, Dad didn't forget about me. He bequeathed the Black Grimoire to me. Too bad the book is lost. Maybe I can find some answers in my father's study or in the ruins of the building that killed him. Okay. Then, yeah, looks like it's gonna be either recording or maybe... No, it should be a recording. Doubt it's a photograph. That's near here. But yeah, I'm gonna leave it here for this episode and continue next time. We're gonna continue investigating. Hopefully I can check all of the places. I mean, should, because two of the things were asking about people. Ivan and the other guy. What's his name? Which I don't know what they are. And the other two options were check the belongings of father and then the place where the building collapsed. Although, yeah, I'm hoping we can check both areas to get as much as possible. But that's going to be for next time. For now, hopefully you enjoyed this episode, guys. As always, don't forget to take care.